Hello and welcome to another free mini Akashic record reading session that I'm doing here live. I'm Jeni Holla, the Akashic Nomad. I am doing these sessions on the 11th of every month at 11 a.m. Eastern. And I also have plans to go live on the 22nd of every month. And that one I'm still tweaking and figuring out as to how I want to show up and the best way to serve you with the Akashic Records. So last time I just opened up the records and did some live channeling and it was like a hybrid experience between me sharing and channeling. It was a little bit of both. And who knows what the next one will be. So stay tuned for that. If you are wanting to hop on my email list, I send out approximately weekly channeled messages from the Akashic Records. They're so amazing. I love sending these out. So if you want to do that, then go to jeniholla.com and you can get on the list. Make sure that you hit the confirm button so that way you make sure you are in fact getting the welcome message. I have a welcome message for you there. And of course, if you decide that you want to get your own personalized reading, because of course this is a little mini reading, you're asking a question, an open-ended question that is not like a yes or no question, then this is just something I want to do to give back because the activations are real and this is really amazing work. And I want more people to understand and learn what the Akashic Records are and experience it for themselves. So if you want to book your own reading, then I would love and be honored to work with you directly. So you can go to akashicactivations.com for that. Now, the way that we're going to do things today is as everybody's jumping on, I'm going to be to make things go smoother. If you could type your question in the comments, thanks, Carrie. If you could type your questions in the comments ahead of time, and I'm going to go in order of how I see the comments. And I am going to give preference to anybody who has not received a free mini reading yet. And of course, I'm going to follow my intuition on this as well, because I know as we continue, there's going to be more and more people hopping on. Let's see what other things. Let's see if there's anything else. Let me just at least give a brief overview of what the records are. So if you are new here and you've never heard of them, you do know what that is. So the Akashic Records is really amazing. It's an energetic field and it's known as the Book of Life. And so everyone's soul's past, present, and all future possibilities lie in the Akashic Records. And so when I'm doing a reading for you or for a group of people, or when I'm doing some of my channeled messages, what I'm tapping into is for your highest and best good and for your soul's ascension and for your soul's growth. And so a lot of times what comes through in a reading is what you need to know in this now moment. And so if you could think about the Akashic Records, it's kind of like the internet, and it's like internet and it's like Wi-Fi. Internet, because you could literally Google anything and ask a question and get a lot of answers. There's a lot there and there's a lot to weed through. And the better the question, the better the answer. And the more open you can have your questions, like, hey, what may I know about this situation? Because there can be future information that comes through, but it's not a psychic reading where it's just telling you like, here's what's going to happen in your future timelines. It's going to tap more into what is going to help you in this now moment. So sometimes we as humans want to hear certain answers and the record keepers aren't always going to give the answer that we want to hear. They're going to give the answer that's in the highest and best good. And I was going to say, it's also like Wi-Fi, because with it being an energetic field, even though you can't see it, you can't see Wi-Fi either. And here we are connected over Wi-Fi and you know it's working. So once again, with any channeled information, take it or leave it, but I'm definitely here to help you break through, get some clarity and all of that. Fun and amazing stuff. So good morning, everyone. Welcome. Tag some people, share this with someone who you feel like might be able to benefit from this. As far as how long we're going with this, max up to an hour as far as how long we're going to be on this live. And once again, it's going to just be based on intuitively who's here, who's hanging out, and the best way to serve. So let's start. I see Carrie's here. Hi, Carrie. Good morning. Thank you. I did get my hair done. I've got some purple and blue now in there, which is super fun. And I have like I ended up doing a little undercut, going a little wild and crazy. So, all right. I see Sandy, you are first. And look at you, Sandy. I don't see any other questions. So you have had a mini reading before, but I am grateful to be able to give you this again. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just writing your name down and I'm going to tune in. Give me 1 second here. Okay, so Sandy's question is, any messages on me finding a better paying job very soon, please? I'm at a temporary job, which is teaching me many lessons, I guess. Thanks. All right, Sandy. So let's see what the record keepers want to share with you for this. Okay, so the very first vision that I'm getting is I'm getting a vision of it looks like an older version of an alarm clock that has like the minute in the hands, and I see it ticking, and it's getting closer to getting to the 12 o'clock clock space where it's ticking, 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 and then that alarm. And like I said, this is like an old school alarm clock is the way it's looking with the bells on top. And so it's ticking, it's getting closer to the 12 o'clock, and then it's going to go bring. That's what they're showing me first as a vision. So let me see what else is here for you. I keep hearing the words trust, 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 trust. And with that, they're also showing a vision. They're showing a vision of you. I'm trying to figure out how to explain this. Okay. So the vision that they're showing, and this is all with love, is they're showing like a vision of you in a desert, like very thirsty for water, and like you're crawling across the desert for the water. And it's like, water, water. I'm really thirsty. Water, water. And they're sharing this vision because they're also saying that with this, there's a sense of desperation in what's going on. And the okay, so we've got the vision of the desert and then like the water and the crawling. So they showed a vision of you standing up and realizing that you are very strong. You're stronger than you realized, and you actually don't need to be crawling on the floor of the desert. And they're showing you standing up. And with you standing up, you also have a different perspective. And with love, of course, that they're showing that you're like really in a sandbox and there's actually water sources all outside. But when you're crawling on the ground and you're looking, all you see is like this desert environment, and you're not seeing that all you have to do is stand up and have a different perspective, and you can see the abundance of water around the sandbox. They're also bringing in the color gold. With this, I'm seeing the color gold. Yeah, that is the message. I know it's super succinct, but they're saying that this is exactly what you needed to hear today, Sandy, like to have this perspective and to really sit with this and to really, they're saying to meditate, for you to meditate and to really feel into this and be able to, okay, there's two things they're saying. They're saying for you to be able to give voice to what it is that you want, for you to be able to speak and give voice to what it is that you want. And for you to also come to a place inside, like I'm seeing you just coming to a place and space inside so that you can have a sense of clarity about what it is that you're doing and how you want to move forward and how you can honor yourself. But they're really bringing like a lot of strength to the voice and having that being a huge part of this. Like, how can you bring this to your voice and what it is that you're saying and doing? Okay, awesome. So thank you, Sandy. That concludes. Love to hear in the comments anything that you'd like to share on how that hit for you. Thank you so much for coming here live. I appreciate you. So I'm going to disconnect from your energy now. So the way that for any of you guys watching, you can do this too when you're disconnecting from energy from people, whether it's you're out at a cafe or you just feel like you need to refresh or anything. One thing I will do is I will just cut these cords like with like my scissors. And I also imagine, especially in a situation like this, I have selenite, which selenite is a good, it helps clear out energies. And I imagine a white light like going through my aura and through my body and going down through my grounding cord and clearing out anything and disconnecting from all that I was connected to. So that's one of the things that I do. And I actually recorded a channeled meditation that I have on Insight Timer. I don't have the link like readily available here in StreamYard to be able to throw it up as a banner. But if you go on to Insight Timer, or you can always message me on social media and I will give you the link to it's free. It's a free meditation that you can do on Insight Timer to be able to help clear your energy. So that's something you can use too. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing your name right. Sakar? I don't know. I hope I'm saying that right. You said, can I get a reading? So if you're interested, if anybody's hopping on now and you want to get a free mini reading, pop your question in the comments. I'm going to go in order of the comments. And of course, I'm going to give priority to those who have not already received a free reading. And we're just going to follow the intuitiveness with this. Okay, so let's see who's next. So Carrie, I'm going to read your comment here. Carrie, I'm going to come back to that because it's a little bit different of an energy for me to tune into. So maybe I'll come back to that towards the end where you're talking about, can I break that down generally? Or that's maybe something I'll do a separate live about, or maybe I'll even ask the record keepers and we'll do a channeling in that type of a session. So I will definitely, think about a more focused question that you want to ask, which will be a lot easier. And I see Rose is on here. Guys, just be careful with any of this stuff, any comments where people are, saying that you should pay the money and reach out for free readings or things like that. Just be mindful, use your discernment, make sure that you're not sending money over to someone. I see a lot of messages like that, like Rose is saying, send me a friend request for a reading. Just be mindful and careful with those things, please, because I know there's a lot of scams out there who hop onto things like this. I actually just saw a friend of mine posting that someone, basically put a message on their thing saying, you're seeing repeating numbers. And if you are, reach out to me for meetings. Like, just please be careful on those things. All right, Miss Zulu, if you have a question, go ahead and type it in the chat. Carrie sounds good. Okay, Andrea. Welcome, Andrea. All right, let me write your name down here. All right, and I'm going to connect you, Andrea, and then look at your question and tune in. Awesome, Andrea. Connecting to you and your Akashic Records, like, I felt so much like just this love. And the Akashic Records, there's a lot of love, and I felt like an extra abundance when I was connecting into your records of love. So I just wanted to honor that and share that with you. And so let's see what your question is here. I know I am meant to have a soul-based business. Okay, chills just reading it. Okay, I'm teetering between waiting for more clarity or going out and doing what feels good. Any insight from the record keepers? Wow. Okay. So just reading that, I was already hearing some stuff coming through for that. Like, I'm teetering between waiting for more clarity. Like I heard like no, like it was like a strong no as I was reading that, or going out and doing what feels good. They're sharing here. Okay. Give me a second, because there's a lot coming in. So let me tune in so that it can clear out, because there's like 3 messages coming in at the same time. Okay, they're sharing that the source of your question actually roots back to a past life in which you were the way that they're showing you is like you were like a servant, like a housekeeper, a servant type of person, and you had a lot to bring into that family, and you were like you just had so much light into bringing that family, and it's like they weren't ready and able to accept your light, and so therefore they kept shushing you and kind of like pushing you off to the side. Yet at the same time, they never recognized how much of an impact that you made on their lives, like when you were like serving them and housekeeping them in that fashion. Like they were actually usually in better moods and had more ideas and had that kind of thing when you were around them, and then they would push you away, and that would actually bring out more of their like just like aggravation and anxieties, and it would bring out more of these sides of them because they didn't have this like calming energy because they would push you away. And so this is from like this is rooted in a past life experience where you had gone through this. And they're sharing that. Okay, so they're sharing a couple of things with this past life. They're saying that you no longer have to experience this, but also that I'm like, I have the feeling of it, so I'm trying to pick the words that works, and it keeps stopping me as I'm like picking the words before they come out of my mouth. Okay, so you experience that in that lifetime. So it's like you know that experience, but you no longer have to fear that. Like that doesn't have to be a part of your experience here. However, there's also a lesson, and there's a lesson in you removing this being a part of your field, and that lesson is just you showing up and honoring your essence, honoring who you are, regardless of what it is that you think or perceive is happening around you. And they're also sharing too that in this lifetime, you are not stuck within kind of like the four walls that you were as like a servant housekeeper in that scenario. Like you can go wherever, so you don't have to replicate that experience here. And if you ever feel like the walls are coming in on you, then it's a matter of just going into a different house because you have, you know what I'm saying? Like you have the opportunity to do that. Like you can literally pick another house. You're not just confined based on like the times. Like you can go into a different house and be able to do that. And they're also sharing that for you, the clarity will come by you showing up and leaning in. They say the more that you wait, the more distorted the field comes. So they're sharing like it's as if you're waiting and you're waiting and you're waiting. And while you're waiting, it's like these distortions are kind of coming in front of you, and you're trying to kind of see through all these different layers and distortions, you know. So it's kind of like, oh, there's my little piece of clarity. I found it. It's like there's these distortions in front of you from waiting. And then they're showing like as you are stepping forward and you're moving, like the distortions are clearing, and then everything becomes more clearer. Yeah, like they're saying you're ready. They're like, you're so ready for this. It's just you're holding on. You're saying you're holding on to someone else's limitation of you. Someone else's expectations of you is what you're holding on to with this. And it's really just a matter of you operating for you. Like your soul knows what to do. Your soul knows what to do. And in this life, it's about you really just following that and stepping in and continuing to move forward, because it's almost like another visual they're giving with this. It's almost like, and I know that this doesn't make sense. This is the visual that they're giving. It's like your soul is kind of like in this like this cage around it. And so it's like this caged thing. And it's like your soul knows to go, but it's kind of like being contained. It's like being contained. And it's like, it doesn't need the cage. The cage, like this, it's almost like the cage is on it because of like and they're saying that this isn't like literal. This is more of like a figurative way of communicating with it. Cause it's like, there's the version of you in this lifetime that is like afraid of that power because of the way with that past life that they were sharing. It's afraid of that power. that you have. And they're saying that the power is it's very pure and very beautiful. And it's something that is going to serve you. And they're like, just taste it, taste the essence. Just keep leaning in, Andrea, keep leaning in. There's so much here. There's so much here. Like you just have such a beautiful soul. There's so much here for you. And I'm excited to see you continue to step out and continue to walk this path, because there's a lot here. Like they're showing that there's like a whole version of your life that your mind hasn't even really perceived. That's really beautiful for you to really step into, but it's just a matter of aligning to that timeline. And how do you align to that timeline? You continue to lean in and show up from the soul and from the heart. And then they said, without fear, without fear. But that's beautiful. Thank you so much for the opportunity. That was really beautiful, Andrea. I really appreciate you showing up. Feel free to drop any comments, how that served you and how that helped you. I'd love to hear. Of course, you can send me a private message as well. So I'm going to disconnect. And before I disconnect, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. I'm going to go in order of your question in the comment, and I'm going to give preference to those of you who haven't had a reading yet on one of these lives, and of course, going to follow intuition with this. So let me disconnect real quick. So. As I'm disconnecting, I'm seeing like a gold angel just showed up. Like as I'm disconnecting, this beautiful gold angel, and I was drawn to like my solar plexus with that, Andrea. It just felt like this angel was kind of like hugging like my solar and my heart chakras, my solar plexus and my heart chakras. So. I'm like, bye-bye, angel. I love your energy, but we've got to clear it out. That was beautiful. Oh, tears of gratitude. You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay. All right. So I see a question here from Miss Zulu, and I actually see two questions from you. You said you're interested in knowing what I was in a past life. For me, the way that things work with me with the Akashic Records, like I don't specifically pull one thing. Like I don't only do past life readings. Like if it comes through and that's what's in your highest and best good, then that's what will come through. So there's no guarantees that, if on this, or if you do a reading with me one-on-one, there's no guarantees on what will come through, because I'm not going to specifically go pull past lives. I'm more in the flow of what's in your highest and best good. There are others who probably can do that, and you can always look that out. If you want to specifically do like a past life regression or a past life session, I have some people I could refer you to who do that kind of work. So if that's something you want to do, but just so you know for this. So Miss Zulu, let me connect to you. I'm just writing your name down here. Now I'm going to connect into your records. Okay, Miss Zulu. Wow. So in connecting to your records, I will tell you that your guides are very strong and they're very powerful. And they've been with you for a very long time. Like they're trying to figure out the words to explain what it is that I was feeling and what they were showing me. So like your guides are very tribal, and they're very grounded and rooted, and they've been, like I said, they've been with you for lifetimes, and they're like really close to you, like they're really supporting you, especially right now in your life. Like it's almost like they're very close to you, and it's like they're just waiting for you to engage with them even more, because like they're really close. Um, it's just the best way I can explain it. Like they're really close, they're ready, they're here to support you. It's almost like they're ready to help carry you into things. Um, they're here. They're really present. So your question is, does the guy older than me have good intentions? Um, okay. So just since when we do things like this online, like if you were one-on-one with me, then I would want to know like his legal name so we could tap in and see like um more specifically as to what you could know about that relationship. So let's see what we can pick up from a general sense here for you. So does the guy older than me have good intentions, a relationship rating? So what can you know that's in your highest and best good about your relationships? Okay, they're showing a vision of you. Um, they're showing a vision of you like dancing. So um, the way that you're dancing is that you're kind of like twirling, and you're kind of like moving in circles. Like it's like you've got your hand with one partner, and then you're twirling, and you're going to the next partner, and you're twirling, and you're going to the next partner. Like you're just kind of moving, and you're very flowing in this vision that they're giving me. And they're showing like you want to continue to be moving around. Your soul is really craving that. Your soul is craving to just be moving and not being in one place or in one space. Let me see what else is here. I got distracted by what you typed in for the other mention about the guides. Um, Yeah, they just keep bringing me to that. Like as far as right now for the relationship reading, I think because it's so general of a question, because you asked about somebody, but there's nothing like it's just very general. Like they just keep showing you twirling and not wanting to stay in one place is what they're showing. And they're showing you feeling really free with that is how they're showing it. So I'm going to go to your other question here. I do want to connect with your guides, but I don't know how to do that. I'm glad they're here with me. Yeah. So they're showing for connecting with them. They're showing you connecting in your dreams. Um, yeah, they're showing like you're saying before you go to bed, you're asking to connect with them in your dreams, and you're connecting with them in the dream state, is what they're sharing here. And they're also saying that you're wiser than you believe yourself to be. Like you're much wiser than you give yourself credit for. And they're sharing a bit about being in a state of like patience, like to where you're allowing things to come to you versus you going out and chasing them. Like to shift the energy to be in more of a receiving type of energy to allow things to come to you versus like chasing them. Yeah, and I see you saying you have a problem with forgetting your dreams. Set the intention. This is me talking. Set the intention that, I'm going to remember my dreams. I'm asking that I remember my dreams. Just start doing that every night, and then have a little journal by your bed to be able to take notes. And let me ask them, because that was what Jeni said. Hmm. Okay, so they're sharing what they shared with that is they said, they shared with the dreams that you're on a subconscious level, you're choosing not to remember them because they scare you, and not because they scare you in a, like, typical monster under the bed type of way. They scare you because they are so beautiful and they have such insights to be able to help you in this life. But there's something about the bigness and the vastness and the amazingness of the dreams that scare you to be able to remember them so that you can put them in. Like they're sharing that there's like a sense that there's a part of you that has a sense of safety in like who you are and who you see yourself as. And if you are to remember your dreams, then the amazingness, and for you to remember the amazingness of who you are, to then bring that into your life and to embody it in this lifetime right now, like there's a hesitancy on a subconscious level to be able to do that because it's like you're scared of how amazing you are. Like you're scared of that because there's a sense of safety in who you are in this life and how you show up and who you identify yourself to be. And they're sharing that another thing they're sharing is they're sharing that this is something that is going to happen and unfold on your time, or on the divine timeline and not your timeline. So they're saying that if you are willing and you want to really connect to this at a deeper level, it's just doing the little things every day. They're sharing like you being willing to come out of the comfort zone of who you are and who you've become, to be able to like allow what scares you, this vastness, this amazingness of what scares you, to come in, to be able to open yourself up to that. But in order to open yourself up to that, like you have to be willing to like let the guard down, is what they're saying. Yeah, she said, that's true. I sometimes want to live a simple life. I'm afraid of going deep into things. They're sharing here to finish this up. They're sharing that you have free will, so you'll always get to choose, but know that this is what there's beauty that lies there. Like there's a gift, is what they're saying. There's a gift that lies in this journey of you really exploring and and connecting to your true authentic self, your soul, your essence. They're saying there's a lot of power there. And they're saying they're saying that you're also scared because you're afraid that you won't recognize yourself. And they're sharing that you don't have to be afraid. Like there's nothing to fear, because this is actually an even more embodied, more beautiful version of you. So there's nothing to be afraid of. You're not this version of you that's waiting. Yeah, these words sound weird because it's like not a version of you. It's like it's already there, but it's like you connecting to it, you being open to it, like you merging with it. Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely, doing readings like this, I'm grateful that I have the opportunity, and thank you so much, Ms. Zulu, for allowing me the opportunity, because, I really love having someone in front of me so we can like continue to go deeper in all of this. So I feel like there's more there, but I also want to honor that that is a really powerful piece of information that you received right there. So I invite you to sit with it. And I'm going to disconnect. If you're just coming on and you want a free reading, make sure you drop your question in the comments. I'm going to go in order if I see them. And so let me disconnect real quick. Oh gosh, every time I'm disconnecting, I'm seeing something now. So I just saw a black horse going by, Ms. Zulu. Like I just saw like a black horse, like a beautiful black horse going by as I was disconnecting. Okay. Let's see who was next. All right, Serena, hi. I think you're next here. So let's see. You've got a couple of comments in, so just looking at your comments real quick. Okay, so we got this. And Serena, just for clarification, the great relationship with past lives, are you saying you have a great relationship with past lives as far as doing that in your work? Or what, just to clarify that comment, I don't think it has to do with your question, but just to make sure. And then I'm going to connect and I'm going to go to your question. Okay, Serena, your your guides are really strong and they're really excited. Oh, okay. So you were saying I do. Nothing to do with questions. Oh, thank you for the past life connection there. Okay, so your question here. So Serena, as I was connecting to your records, your guides are really happy. And they're happy that you're here and they're happy, like they're strong, like they're cool. They're really cool, fun guides is what I'm and when I saw, like, it's like I feel like they have a lot that they want to tell you, because I saw like this big chunk of like words, like a message, like going "Rah!" Like there's just so much they want to tell you, and I'm not sure if that's how it's going to come through in this mini reading, or if it's just like a matter of just like a lot of things that they're wanting to tell you. So let me see what your question is here. So I've been waiting for an inspiration on moving forward and feeling the right moment. Any guidance on this? Okay, the first thing that they're saying with this is that there will never be a right moment if you're like locked in the I don't know. I'm trying to explain. I don't know what it's called, but like locked in the gondola. Like if you go to a ski resort or something, or you're doing a ride where like the things are going through, and then you have to like get out of the like moving car to go onto the platform. But the way that so I don't know if that's called a gondola or what it's called, but it's like you're in this thing. They're saying that like you can't get out if it's locked. It's almost like it's stopping and it's locked, and off you go again on the around and around. And if it's yeah, that feels complete in the way they explain that. And they're giggling too, because your guys are like fun and light. Like they're giggling because they're like, you know this, and you've locked yourself in the gondola. Like it's like you almost want to go another ride or two around because you've been enjoying the ride, but as much as you want to get off and go on another ride, like you've kind of been enjoying it, but at the same time, like as you come around and it's time to get off on the platform, you're like hesitant there. Like if there's a hesitancy, and so therefore you're not unlocking the door to get out. And then like once you pass the platform, then it's like some frustration, anxiety, like that type of thing like sets in, where it's like, oh, I should have got off back there. Why am I not getting off back there? Like it's like, but then at the same time, when you reach the top of it, you're like, wee, this is fun. You know, and it's kind of been repeating itself, is what they're sharing in this vision here. Let me see. Let me go back. There's so many comments here. An inspiration on moving forward and feel the right moment. Okay, so in this visual here, they're sharing that the inspiration in moving forward. So in the circular vision that was coming through with this like gondola or whatever it's called, is so you've had the chance to get off and it's locked. Then there's like that frustration or whatever, and then like the we. They're saying between the we and between kind of like the next cycle of getting off, they're sharing that the moment is between those two. It's not, it's definitely not within seconds of getting there. It's like the moment, chills. The moment is happening in that portion. It's almost like in 2/3 of that. I don't, my hands are weird with this, but like in 2/3 of that portion from the top, and then here's the bottom where you get off. So like 2/3. I need to learn how to move my hands backwards, but the 2/3 of that circle is what they're showing is when the decision is to be made, to help support you, because they're sharing that with that it gives you the ability to be able to, like, they're showing you coming out of this gondola or whatever it's called, coming out of that on the platform, like just like you're full embodied and powerful and strong, and you're stepping out and you're like, hey, like it's just you're just like owning the space when you do that, versus if you're making the decision closer, it's like you're kind of, you know you're not stepping out as strongly as you could be, is what they're sharing. Yeah. And they're also sharing here that with this cycle, with this circular cycle that they're sharing here, with this ride, is that, you know as you go around in another revolution with it, is that there's what will help on, like, after the we part at the top, what will help on that is to be able to, how can I explain this? To be able to, so there's that part where there's the frustration, to be like, it's almost as if what will make it easier is that the frustration after you've missed the exit is to be able to, like, there's a lesson here that you're not learning, which is why it's repeating. And I see you just dropped in. I'm not sure how to translate that into actions. Let me see, if there's anything they want to share with this as far as like actionable items, or if this is a matter of you sitting with it and seeing what comes up. Okay, so what they're sharing here is that the way that this is just the way they're doing it, so I'm going to trust it here, is that um yeah, like they're I don't know if you're guys to answer what I was about to say, but so they're sharing here like, uh oh my god, I just lost it. Give me 1 second. I got really thrown off and I don't know. Interesting. Okay. Interesting. So they're I keep saying interesting because it's like I was like super focused on what was going to unfold next. And then I got completely distracted. And they were letting me know that that distraction was like, a mirror back to you, Serena. Like that distraction was a mirror, because it's like there was like I was so focused on what it was they were sharing, and then it was like a complete distraction, like where I completely lost it. And it's interesting because now they've got me in this very blank state. Like it's just blank. And interestingly enough, like I feel like I'm riding this, gondola ride of what they're explaining here. Like I feel like I'm riding this ride and I'm in this state of just being like pondering, um, quiet, patient, detached. This is very interesting. Like they're having us sit in this right now. Hmm. So if we were here in front of each other, in this moment, they're like asking you what came up for you in this little bit of silence, because I had something that dropped in as well. And she said how to break that. So in the little silence, there was something that dropped in for that, but they wanted me to ask you, like, did anything drop in for you in that little bit of silence when we were sitting in that briefly? Felt familiar. Yeah, it's interesting because what dropped in for me as we were sitting in that, and they wanted me to ask you, is the like, man, what in the hell, Serena? Seriously, this is the second time that I've had it, and it completely left. I feel like there's a message here, and I'm going to see if they're going to share what it is, because it's like this is the second time that I've felt very strongly what they were going to share, and then it leaves. Yeah, because they're yeah, I was thinking it sounded like the spaceman. It's interesting because it's the question they want to ask you, and you don't have to put this in the comments, but is like, do you want to get off the ride? This ride that we're talking about with this metaphor, do you want to get off the ride? That's the question. And they're saying like, yeah, the obvious answer is yes. But at the same time, there's something that's keeping you in that ride. So let me see if they're going to share, because I know that's what you keep asking. You're like, what is it? What is it? What is it? How do I break it? Okay, so when I saw you say they're asking for commitment in the chat, then they brought a vision of they're saying yes and for commitment. What they're showing me is they're showing me that what's getting off the ride is very different than what you've been used to. And so there's a sense of uncertainty as to if you want to get off of the ride and go into that different world when you step on the platform. Is that something that like I haven't committed the new format because I'm not sure what it is. Okay. So I just heard a song lyric. And I know you may not know it, and it's okay, but I heard a song lyric, and it's like, if you're feeling froggy, then jump. And that's what I feel like is like this whole message of you stepping out on the platform. And they're saying, like, even if you don't know, because they're saying that you like, you already know what to do in so many ways, in so many levels, you already know what to do. And it's like you're holding on to the ride because you know what to expect in this cycle, but like stepping out onto the platform and going back to what they shared before of the that space where you're making the decision, like you're like wee, and then you're making the decision and then unlocking the door, because you can't get off the ride if you don't unlock the door. You can't get off the ride if you don't unlock the door. So unlocking the door helps you to get off of the ride and step onto the platform from a more grounded space. And you're making that decision before it's time to get off the ride. Yeah. Yeah. You said, I've had to do this many times, jump off. The message is here. They're like, don't overcomplicate it. Don't overcomplicate it. Like you already know what to do. This is just about you. It's about your mind and your body catching up to your soul. It's your mind and your body catching up to your soul. Like that's all that's happening. Yeah. Thank you so much, Sharina. I appreciate your trust in coming here. Thank you today. I really appreciate it. I know a lot of times, it's like, give me the answers. And really, sometimes the answers, there. And sometimes, we have to sit with it. I get it. I get it. And to me, it felt like a very, very strong message in there. But of course, you can reach out with anything after. Thank you, Serena, for trusting me. I'm going to disconnect. Yeah, Serena, as I was disconnecting from your energy, I'm going to write this down. They want me to send you that song with if you're feeling froggy, then jump, like that, with that little lyric in there. So they want me to send you that song, so I will. And the name of it's Tourmaline. So if that means anything. Okay. Who is next here? Let me scroll up. Give me 1 second. Once again, as a reminder, guys, for comments here, Gloria saying, hey, reach out to me for a reading. Just guys, be very careful with these things. There's a lot of scams out there. Use your discernment. I don't know. I mean, it looks all beautiful with all the hearts and stuff, and hopefully it's all good, but just be mindful and be very cautious of who you reach out to. Do not send any money without confirming, who they are, the validity, and all of that. All right. Let's see who's next. Okay, so Carrie, I see you have a couple questions, so you're next. All right. Okay. Let me get to the first part of Carrie's and let me get into your records here. And Carrie may be the last one. Possibly with time for one more. So if you're on here and you want a question, pop it in the chat. And if we have time, we'll get to it. So sorry, there's comments. Let me get to the point. Okay. All right, Carrie. All right, Carrie, you are up. And as I was connecting to your records, just was feeling like I wanted to dance. So that is something that you were probably being encouraged to do, or maybe you're doing right now. Who knows? All right. So your question, and I'm going to go through all of these and see where it is. Okay. So people in my life tell me I've been a life coach my whole life, and there are so many entry points to making that an income. However, people like the next specific step, and I understand and see their bigger possibilities and potential. What's the question? Because I see so many ways to get a desired outcome, it's useful to help other people who are natural focused executors to be their paid overthinker. Less useful in a traditional current business building environment, at least so far, because I know I have 290,000 ways to do this. Okay, what a poorly constructed question. I need a now income to fund my life's passion, but any traditional job distracts me. I guess what can I do now that will move me down the path? Oh, Audrey, I'm sorry I missed there's a lot of questions here. Audrey, I'll make sure I stay on and I'll get to yours. I don't know if yours, because Carrie's on YouTube, so I'll get to yours next, Audrey. Okay. I need now income to fund my life's passion, but any traditional job distracts me. I guess what can I do now that will move me down the path? Okay. Okay. So I don't know a ton about this, so I'm just going to share what they came thing. They're saying first things first, a soul retrieval, pulling All chills. All the pieces back to you. Once again, I don't know a lot about soul retrieval, so that's just what came through first. I can't really explain it, but I just saw it as if like there's all these fragments and they just you're pulling them all back to you because you have fragments out all over and pulling everything back to you. And that also explains when I was connecting to your records, I felt a sense of like distracted and disjointedness when I was opening. Ugh, chills. Yeah, there's I keep sending chills with this. Um, yeah. Okay, so let me see what else they want to share with this. Okay, so they're also showing here is they're showing you standing in a spot and there's paths literally all around you, like you said, right? And the thing is that they're encouraging you, like what I'm seeing in the vision is they're encouraging you. Okay. So all the paths are golden in this vision, right? Like all the paths are golden in this vision. And so there's a lot of excitement. It's like, oh, they're all gold paths. They're all yellow brick roads. Yay, yay, let me go, let me go. And they're encouraging you to see the paths for what they are, because not all of them are gold. Not all of them are yellow brick roads. And here with these roads is to be able to begin to let go of the roads that are not gold. How do you see the roads that are not gold? They're like you already see them. You're just painting them under a different light. Like you already know which roads are not gold. Let them go. Let go of the roads that aren't gold instead of holding on to all of the options. They're saying once that happens, they're showing it like from literally like paths all the way around you. And now, like, okay, you've let them go. Now there's still paths. It's continuing this process to be able to discern which one to go on. And they're saying that there is no one ultimate path. There is no one ultimate path. And at the same time, too many paths creates disjointedness. It just creates like they're just showing me like this. It's like it's just and for you bringing everything back, bringing stuff all the way back in here to you and making a decision from all of these pieces back to you, like grounded and in you and back into you, making a decision from that place, because it's almost like the decisions and everything that's laid out when you're making a decision, it's like there's just pieces of you scattered out all over. So you're making the decisions from like all of these places. And so it's like, it's because there's like a piece of you down this path and a piece of you down that path and a piece of you over here and a piece of you over there. So it's like even just like it's very hectic. Like even just tapping into the energy of it's all over the place, all over the place. And I'm saying, of course, you see all kinds of paths because you're all over. So bringing everything back and coming to a place, because they're saying that they're saying this is a huge part of your soul's growth right now, is to be able to come from this place where like I'm just seeing like, okay, so basically I'm seeing like with you all over, right? With all these pieces all over, you've got like you and you're making decisions and you're operating in life from like a lower capacity amount of what you're capable of. So from that space, you can only play so big. And it's almost like you're running on empty making decisions. You have to be running on full in order to make decisions. They're saying, how do you do that? You have to cut off some of the golden paths. You have to let them go. What is the thread that will sew me back together? They said, you're the thread. You're the thread that sews you back together. They're saying first step, Only step to focus on, because I don't want to give you anything else right now. The only thing to focus on is all of those gold paths and figuring out which ones are not actually gold and letting them go, releasing them, letting them go completely. And they're saying that that's all you need to know right now. That's it. So thank you, Carrie, so much for being here. Thank you for trusting me. I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for your support. I'm going to disconnect from you, and then I'm going to get to Audrey's question, and we will close up. Okay, Audrey, thank you so much. I'm so sorry I missed your chat up here. All right, Audrey. I'm so sorry I missed you. Thank you so much for being so patient. And thank you for being here and for trusting me. Let me write your name down. I'm going to connect to your records. Okay, Audrey, will I be able to leave my full-time job next year? So what I will do is that the same thing that you did before? Let me scroll up and see, because you said you commented further up. Okay, yeah, it's the same thing. So once again, just as a reminder, I'll tune into this. It may not be like a yes or no predictive psychic type of answer, but they're going to share whatever is in your highest best good. And I will tell you that when I was opening your records, I saw they give a very peaceful soul. And I also saw like this, you have a peaceful, powerful soul where there's like, such a powerful like essence that goes out from this like very core grounded space. Like there's a lot of power in your soul. So recognize that and understand that for sure. Cause I love it. It's like a peaceful, like you just have a very peaceful soul. Will I be able to leave my full-time job next year? What does she know about that? Let's see. Okay, so they're saying like, dear one, this question is not, they're saying like, this question is not the question. The question that you desire is something that you're not asking. And they're saying that this is an absolutely irrelevant question because there's actually something even deeper, chills with that, even deeper that is available here for you. And they're sharing that the focus on this question is misplaced, misdirected, misguided focus. Because they're saying that whether you leave your job or not is completely irrelevant. They're saying it's completely irrelevant. And they're inviting you to focus more on something else. I'm going to see if they're going to share with us something else because I don't know what it is, or if they're even going to share it with me. You may know, but they're like inviting you to focus on something else and not on that. Yeah, they just keep saying it's completely irrelevant whether you leave it next year or not. They're like, it's completely irrelevant. They're like, you could leave it. They're like, it's so irrelevant that you could leave right now. You could leave next month. You could leave 10 months, 10 years. Like it's completely irrelevant. They're showing that it's like, they're showing that it's so irrelevant that it's almost like it's a feather in your cap. It's a shirt you put on. It's like there's just no relevancy to this. As far as it relates to your soul, because I know from a human side, this is Jenny, from a human side, I know there's, we feel that there's importance, but from, a soul record side, they're inviting you to continue to connect to that peaceful soul essence that you have and to be able to make decisions and operate from that space and to be able to like move so many chills with this, move from that space and to be able to make decisions from that space. That is the big thing. And I see you said, I guess the real question is, will I be able to support my family with my new business I'm building? So they're saying that you're more powerful than you realize. You make more of an impact with every single step you take, every word you speak, everything that you do, you make more of an impact than you realize. And once again, they're encouraging you to focus back into this soul presence of who you are and to really root in and sit in this space. And when these questions come up of, the job and the support and whatever, like they're sharing, like recognize them, be aware of them, but not to be putting a lot of effort and energy into them as far as like the energetic figuring out, the mind figuring out the focus on it and any obsession or thoughts or anything like that. There's energy move into that, like not to place too much emphasis on those questions related to that. Come back into the space and really operate. Like I'm just seeing you so rooted in who you are, the work that you're meant to do here. Like I'm seeing you so powerful. And when you're operating from this space, like all of that stuff just like happen. Like you don't have to worry about it. It's just going to happen. It's just going to unfold for you. Like, but you got to come from this space, from this soul peaceful space. And they're saying you're already doing it and they're inviting you to amplify it even more. Like amplify it even more. And they're sharing that you have I don't know the name, but like you have something, you have a project or something that you've been thinking about or you've been working on that's kind of like, I don't know, hidden away or hasn't really come out yet. So like there's something you've been thinking about or working on that feels like to you it's a bit of a like a non-starter or like I don't know, like you're kind of minimizing it, but there's a lot more in this project or this idea that you have than you're giving it credit for. And they're inviting you to take some bold risks as it relates to your like your purpose, your craft, what you're doing. Like take some bold risks because they're saying that now is a better time than ever because you have the support with your career, you have your support with your job, that you can take some bold risks and you can really put yourself out there in a big way. Because they're like, what if that way is the way that literally changes everything? You have nothing to fear and nothing to worry if it fails. Like they're like, go big, put yourself out there, take the risks. You have literally nothing to fear in leaning in and showing up and doing those things. Because there's like, dude, like, they're just bringing me to this thing that you've been working on or this thing that you've been thinking about. Like, they're like, yeah, put it out there, do it. Let's go. Like, put yourself out there, go big, go big, go big, go big. You're meant for more, you're meant for more, you're meant for more. Go big, go big, go big. Come from the place in your soul, like that peaceful soul, come from that aligned place of who you are. And they're saying that you're really good at this. Just continue to embody it and deepen it and bring it in. They said you already do this. Like you're really intentional about the way that you move about in life and the way that you make decisions and the way you connect with people. Like you're very intentional about that. They're like, so you already know, just amplify it, amplify it, amplify it, amplify it. Yeah. And they're also saying too, like, your presence is needed. Your presence is needed because it's going to help shift some things energetically, not only in the circle of influence that you're aware of, but it's going to shift things on a much bigger level, like, and it's going to reach beyond what you can comprehend mentally. So just keep going. Like, it's just keep doing it. You got this. Like, they're like, you're on the right path. Keep going. Just, yeah, that's, whew. Audrey, oh my God, what a gift. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to support you and connect with you and to be able to provide this to you. Of course, any comments you put here, I'm grateful for. If you want to send me a message and let me know how this impacted you, that would be great as well. So what landed, what didn't. Oh, how beautiful. It's 12:12. That's so fun. In my time, 12:12. And Audrey, you commented at 12:11. So let me disconnect. Thank you all so much for being here. So grateful. If you're not already on my list to get free weekly channel messages and of course get reminders about when I go live like this, you want to go to jeniholla.com, sign up there. If you want to do a one-on-one reading with me where we actually take more time, and I have a couple different packages and we can talk through what would be the best fit for you, you can go to akashicactivations.com. I would be honored to go deeper with you in this work and to be able to help you gain clarity. There's energy healings that come through. I mean, there's so many different things that we remove blocks sometimes. We help you move forward. There's activations. You get lit up. All kinds of things come from this work. So if you want to take those steps, would be honored to do that with you. And of course, follow me, invite friends, all the good stuff. And I will see you guys very, very soon. Again, I just channeled a message yesterday when I was hiking that I'll probably be posting later today, maybe tomorrow on social media. So stay tuned for that. All right, bye.